Hey everybody, welcome back. It's going to be a great week. We have some great instructional strategy for you and some digital tips. Well, Justin. Do you just want to be in my video?
Well, why don't you just come over to mine?
Okay.
This is something new.
It is.
Tech guy and the instructional guy together. All right.
Feels good.
All right, this has got to be a good video. This week, we're going to highlight discovery learning. We're going to see how you can incorporate it in your classroom to really engage the learners.
And what's really great about this week is we had a fantastic teacher, Mr. Dustin Creighton, and he came down to us and he asked for some coaching, he asked for some tips, and we were able to put this together. And this is really what we're looking for. Every professional athlete in our country has a coach. There's nobody that doesn't need help, that couldn't use another set of hands or another set of eyes or another mind to look at what they're doing. What we want everybody to do is watch this video, and we encourage you. When you have something that needs improvement, if you have something you want to show off, let us know, and you're going to be next.
Hey guys, over here, I found something. Look, what is it? It's a dictionary. Nothing exciting, just a dictionary. Keep looking. Yeah, so laugh it up. I got excited about finding a dictionary. But don't act like you've never got excited for finding or discovering something that you thought was something else. Think about when you were younger and you were in the yard and you found that rock and you could have swore it was a fossil. You couldn't wait to get back to school the next day to show your friends. It's exciting to discover new things. And that's exactly why I ask you, try discovery learning in your classroom at least once or twice this year. Essentially what you will do is you will develop a problem, a real world problem, that will allow the students to take what they're learning in class and to try to use that information to solve this problem. It makes learning real for them. It brings the real world situations into the classroom. It engages the learner. Not only does it allow them to manipulate what they've already learned to solve issues, but it also allows them to ask for feedback. Because when they get stuck, they've got to ask someone to help them to solve the problem. And that in itself is teaching them so much more than we can instead of just standing up here and trying to explain to them the difference between this and that it's important to ask for help. Let them learn how to ask for help. Let them learn how to solve issues by using their prior knowledge. Discovery learning will change your classroom. So today we're going to highlight discovery learning in a lesson that our fellow teacher did. And basically what he's trying to do is he's trying to get his students to solve a problem using physics where they have to develop a roller coaster that they need to make sure is not going to crash as soon as a rider gets on it. So we're going to check out that lesson right now, and definitely think about how you can develop lessons that utilize discovery learning.
Good morning. Six Flags Amusement Park has been hearing from its customers that their roller coasters are extremely boring. The public is threatening that if the amusement park does not build a new, more exciting roller coaster, they will stop going to the park. You are part of a new engineering team that has been asked to submit a new roller coaster design to the amusement park.
Sorry.
I think I beat you.
Yeah. So tell me about the lesson. What were you looking to accomplish in your lesson?
In this particular lesson, it was more of a inquiry-based lesson where the kids were going out, they were building roller coasters in an effort to truly understand what it is to have conservation of energy and understanding the relationship between GPE and kinetic energy of a marble.
All right, awesome. That's cool. So you wanted to allow your students to experience the actual learning through some hands-on activities, kind of develop their own understanding of physics. How did you incorporate this idea of discovery learning into your lesson?
Well, I'm a big component of hands-on learning. Going out there, have the experience, and learn from it. You know, and then trying to be more hands-off and let the students have their own kind of experiences and learn from that, and then we discuss after the fact. So in this particular lesson, I wanted them to go out, have some trials and errors, have some mistakes, see what went wrong, assess it, and fix their mistakes. And I think in that, there's so much value there than me just standing up and delivering some information. I think that's a better means that I feel the students are getting, they're engaged, they're getting the material, they're getting the information better.
So by presenting them with a problem that they had to solve, they were more engaged and
Absolutely.
they actually internalized the learning because there's ultimate goal to the process.
Yeah, I think I learned something. I actually learned how energy transfers, like how GP transforms to KE if something is in motion, or how friction involves with all of that. And yeah, it was actually,
We can talk about it all day. We can sit here and talk about transformation and this kind of stuff, but when you see it, it's a real different thing than just talking about it, because it helps you understand. You can see physically what actually happens, not just numbers and statistics, stuff like that.
We would kind of he would tell the things, and then we would listen to it, but he would tell us if it would be too high, maybe the friction will make the ball go off the track, and we would still go on and doing that even though we kind of knew, but when we proved it ourselves, we kind of believed it more.
So originally you wanted to incorporate technology throughout the lesson to enhance the lesson itself, but I know you came across some roadblocks. Can you explain your initial intentions for the technology and if those roadblocks actually had any effect on the learning process?
Of course. So initially, what I really truly wanted the students to do was work together to build a roller coaster. And in that, have great discussions, science-based discussion, using vocabulary, and doing some error analysis. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to use technology in a sense of using this as a format to have students present their materials, not necessarily to the whole class, but to on a format like Schoology and using the computers for the cameras. And that way, they were discussing using vocabulary and having this interaction. That was a bit of a fail. The computers were very difficult to videotape with. The format, we had some drops in the internet, so the students would make a video, the video wouldn't upload. That was a bit frustrating for the students.
Did the technology not working affect your learning? Did you not learn something because the technology didn't work?
No.
Well, we had to upload the videos to Schoology for the other classmates to see, like he was referring to. So we had to record with the computers, upload to Schoology.
But it didn't work very well.
Well, for some groups it did, some groups it didn't. You kind of how it is with technology.
Yeah.
So did this have a negative impact on the students' learning?
Not really, because at the end of the day, what I truly wanted the students to have was having scientific discussions. I wanted them to have an inquiry-based lesson, have a scientific discussion with using vocabulary, and then do some peer editing. And at the end of the day, they did that.
Okay.
Technology or not, it worked out.
Nice. That's great. That's great to hear.
Did you like it?
Yeah. Like they said, it's not fun just sitting in class struggling to stay awake of him just talking and talking. So it's fun getting with a group of people, so you socialize with them and actually be able to build things and find out yourself.
From a technology point of view, Mr. Creighton's lesson was exactly what we're looking for. We saw technology integrated at every step of the process, and not in a way that was too cumbersome for the students or for the teacher. The lesson started with Mr. Creighton's video, which is a quick 3-minute way for the teacher to disseminate instructions on an equitable platform. All students saw the same instructions. Didn't matter if you were home for the day or happened to be in the nurse's office when class began, or you were in class. You got the same instructions because of that video that created the consistency. We saw in Mr. Creighton's Schoology page a step-by-step list of the instructions in Schoology. Again, equitable, consistent, and permanent for all students. If you get lost, we just go back to those instructions. If someone at home wants to know, hey, what'd you do today? We can show them those instructions, and I think that's a great use. Also, in the lesson plan, we had resources that the students could optionally access, and that's really that discovery piece right there, is that Mr. Creighton provided several YouTube videos, an online roller coaster builder, and other materials that the students could discover if they felt it necessary for their learning, and if not, they could skip over it. And that's a great use of technology. Just because it goes up in Schoology doesn't mean it needs to be accessed by every single student in every single class period. Furthermore, at the end of the lesson, we did see that we tried to use in this lesson a discussion board in the video feature for peer interaction. Now, that part didn't work due to technology problems, and it may have caused a headache and a slight loss of time, but the lesson plan itself was still intact. The learning happened and the core was strong. And we congratulate Mr. Creighton for trying new things, because that's really what integrating technology is about, is integrating it in a sensible way. And that's exactly what we have here, is technology integrated into the lesson plan at different phases in a way that was manageable and yet effective. My favorite thing about this lesson plan from both points of view really is the discovery aspect. Not only were the students able to discover things about potential energy and kinetic energy and force and friction and all of that. But Mr. Creighton was able to discover some things about technology, and it was a discovery lesson plan for him as well. He's built this base in Schoology of these resources, and when he returns to this activity next semester or next year, those materials will be there, ready to be built upon, ready to be taken to the next step. And so he's really started something great there. So we congratulate Mr. Creighton and his students, thank him so much for bringing this to it and sharing it with the school, and we hope you learned something. Thank you.